Many people think the sky will always be there. It's something we look at every day, something that feels steady, like it will never go away. People don't stop to wonder what life would be like without it. It's just there, blue in the daytime, dark with stars at night, sometimes cloudy, sometimes clear. But something extraordinary is coming, something no one thought could ever happen. This warning began with Father Jim Blunt, a priest who spent many quiet hours in prayer, especially in front of the statue of Our Lady. One day, while he was praying deeply, something powerful happened. He didn't feel like he was in the same place anymore. If this message touched your heart, or made you think about the world in a new way, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think about Father Jim Blunt's vision? Could something like this happen? Do you believe God is trying to convey a message to us through this warning? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters, and your words might help someone else who is searching for answers. Father Jim Blunt had always been a man of deep faith, someone who carried a quiet strength and peace that others could feel just by being near him. He had spent many years serving God, praying for others, and sharing the love of Christ wherever he went. There was one place he returned to often when he needed silence and comfort, a peaceful spot beneath the statue of Our Lady. He would go there to pray, sometimes in the early morning before the sun rose, sometimes late in the afternoon when the world was slowing down and everything felt still. On one of those calm afternoons, with the soft breeze passing through the trees and the warm sunlight resting gently on the earth, Father Jim knelt in prayer once again. He wasn't asking for anything special. His prayer was simple and full of love. His heart was open, and his soul was quiet, just waiting in the presence of God. In that silence, something began to change. At first, it was just a feeling like peace growing stronger inside him, like a soft touch on the soul. Then, a light began to appear, not from the sun, but from somewhere beyond, a light that was brighter than anything he had ever seen, yet did not blind him. It surrounded him, wrapped around him gently like a warm embrace. He could feel that it was holy, that it came from God. And then, without any fear or confusion, he felt himself being lifted. It wasn't like flying or floating, but more like being gently carried by the hands of heaven. He didn't fight it. He just trusted. As the light carried him, his heart beat calmly, and he knew this was something sacred. When the light faded and he opened his eyes, he was no longer under the statue of Our Lady. He had been taken somewhere else, a different world, a different time. Everything looked both familiar and strange. There were buildings, roads, parks, people walking around and going about their daily lives. But something was missing, something big. He felt it before he saw it. And then, when he looked up, the truth hit him like a cold wind. The sky was gone. There was no blue, no clouds, no sunlight, no stars. Above his head was only a deep, endless emptiness. It was like the world had lost its ceiling, and what was left above was nothing. No one else seemed to notice. People walked by, talked to each other, bought food, sat on benches. But none of them looked up. None of them acted like anything was strange. Father Jim's heart began to ache. He tried to talk to people. He asked gentle questions. He wanted to know if they remembered the sky, if they knew it had disappeared. But the answers he got made no sense. It was as if the sky had never existed for them. It wasn't just gone, it had been forgotten. Even the children in the park played quietly, without the joy and laughter that usually comes with sunshine and fresh air. Their faces didn't glow with wonder. Their games were dull, their voices soft. It was like something inside them had dimmed. And the more Father Jim looked around, the more he realized that the missing sky wasn't just about the sky, it was about the people. They were not only living without the sky. They were living without wonder, without connection, without light in their souls. He walked deeper into this strange world, hoping to find answers. He entered a school, but the children there were only learning about rules and numbers, nothing about nature or beauty or the world above. He visited a library, flipping through book after book, but there was no mention of the sky. It was as if no one had ever known it was there. No one wrote about it. No one missed it. It was a part of life that had been quietly erased. This scared Father Jim more than anything. Not that the sky was missing, but that people had stopped noticing it was ever there. They had accepted the emptiness above them. They had accepted a smaller world, a world without heaven in their eyes. Eventually, he found a small chapel, hidden between two tall, gray buildings. Inside, there were a few people praying quietly, their eyes full of sadness. They knelt with heavy hearts, and even though their voices were soft, there was something honest in their prayers, a longing, a whisper of hope. Father Jim walked slowly to the altar, knelt, and began to pray again. And as he prayed, the holy light returned. It was gentle, warm, and familiar. It filled him with peace and understanding. In that moment he knew. This vision was not just a dream. It was a warning. A message from God. A glimpse of what could happen if people turned away from heaven, if they forgot to love creation, if they stopped lifting their hearts to the one who made the sky. As the light lifted him once more, carrying him back, he felt tears run down his cheeks. He had seen a world that had lost something beautiful and didn't even know it. And he knew he had to do something. When his eyes opened again, he was back beneath the statue of Our Lady. The sky above him was blue, full of soft clouds, the sun shining warmly across the land. Birds were singing. The wind was light and sweet. Everything was alive. And Father Jim looked up at the sky with new eyes. He realized how much he had taken it for granted. From that moment on, he made a promise in his heart to never forget what he had seen. He began to speak to people, to share his story, to tell them that the sky, the sun, the stars, the wind, and all the beauty of the world were gifts, precious gifts. He told them not to wait until they were gone to care. He spoke from the heart, and his words reached people. Some cried, some changed, some began to pray again. His vision became a story passed from one person to another, not just as a tale of something strange, but as a light, a call to wake up and remember what truly matters. Father Jim knew that he had been given a second chance not just for himself, but for the world. And so he kept speaking, kept praying, and kept reminding everyone that the sky above us is not just a part of nature. It is a message from heaven, always there, calling us to look up and remember who we are. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time to listen to this message. Your presence means more than words can say. Whether you came out of curiosity, faith, or a desire to understand something deeper, we are truly grateful that you chose to spend these moments with us.